So welcome to the HR and CQ show. We're here with another episode, this time coming to you from the Ru'ya 25 Future Talks podcast studio here at the Dubai World Trade Center. And we've got the privilege of having Umnia Ahmed, the Emiratisation Director for Chalhoub Group, with us. And she's here to talk to us today about the Emiratisation journey and the way that Chalhoub is handling that to position themselves as an employer of choice for Emiratis in the region. So welcome, Umnia. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Sarah and I are really interested to hear from you because obviously we're really into the topic of HR and cultural intelligence and what that looks like within Chalhoub. I think, Sarah, you are poised with the first question.
Absolutely. Okay, Umnia, thank you so much for joining us today. So we have a global reach on our podcast, so I think it would be really beneficial if you could just give us a brief overview of who are Chalhoub as a group, presence in the region, so that our listeners who are not familiar have an understanding of the size and scale of the company.
Definitely. So Chalhoub Group is a leading luxury retailer. We are present across the region, and we partner with 400 brands, more than 400 brands, to either represent them or the region, or to enable their presence in the region as well, and bring them closer to the customers, local consumers. We have over 16,000 team members that are represented across our group, across different functions, all enabling these brands operate and come to life within the region.
Fantastic. And do you have an idea how many different nationalities you have within the workforce? Because 16,000 is a massive number.
Yes, so we have over 120 nationalities across the group, which makes us one of the most diverse, I think, groups or companies within the UAE.
That's amazing. I know companies I've worked with in the past have been celebrating like 30 or 40 nationalities. I can't even begin to understand having 120 nationalities. So obviously one of those nationalities is the Emiratis, being the local nationality for the UAE. And there are targets in place, as we all know, from the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratisation, that you need to achieve year-on-year growth of the headcount. From my perspective, from an HR, this is one of the biggest headaches, I think, for now even small businesses as well. So what are some of the activities that you've put in place to maintain that growth on attracting Emirati talent into Chalhoub?
I think the first thing we put in place is how we perceive Emiratisation. So today, Emiratisation for Chalhoub Group initiated or started way before NAFIS came into place and way before the mandate came into place. It's a 20-plus year journey that we've been on to make sure that we have the right representation of Emiratis within our group.
That's amazing.
And to us today, Emiratisation positions, or is for us positioned as a competitive advantage, because today reality is we do operate within the UAE. It is our headquarters. We have some of our biggest brands present over here. We have many of our own brands or own concept brands developed in the UAE and Dubai, which we are taking globally. But with the UAE and Dubai being our home, it makes complete sense to have Emiratis bring us closer to our customers, our local consumers. We are the ones who I think understand the culture, the values, the taste of our local consumers. And this is how we position Emiratisation within our business, and our management completely understand the advantage and value of having Emiratis within our group. That aside, today, going back to UAE being our home, it makes, again, it is a mandate that we believe in, that it is our duty to enable and to offer career opportunities to the people of the land, the people of the country that is our home, and where we've, again, UAE is where we shifted our headquarters to in 1990, and we've experienced exponential growth as a group in the UAE. So it is this is the vision of Patrick Chalhoub, our chairman, Michael Chalhoub, our CEO. So they completely believe in this, and they want to make sure that we are driving this agenda forward to offer the right opportunities, career opportunities to the UAE or to the Emirati talents.
So out of 16,000 headcount, how many Emiratis do you have? What's your percentage?
So we are at 10%, more or less. We have around 400 Emirati team members across our group, and we're very proud that this number continues to grow year on year. Today, our Emirati talents are present across more or less all of our job functions or job families. Even the most niche, maybe jobs or careers that we have, or job families that we have in the group, we want to make sure that Emirati talents are present over there, and we are enabling this by particularly giving a lot of attention to the enablement of youth to build career paths within luxury retail.
Amazing. So I'm sure Emma has some questions around the integration of Emiratis with the other nationalities that you have and cultures.
Yeah, so you said you've got over 120 different nationalities, and so that means then you've got people already in the workplace, and then there's this increased integration of Emiratis into those already existing teams,
Yes.
already existing departments, where processes and procedures are already in place, and then there's additional Emiratis coming into that workplace. So what does the onboarding look like then for your Emiratis that you're bringing into the organisation? How are you making sure that they, immediately feel part of something, that they fit in well to your organisation? Is there any sort of specific things that you're doing in the onboarding process?
Sure. I think I'll tackle this question on both angles.
Sure.
The angle of our Emirati talents and how we are enabling their integration, as well as our team members who are, as you mentioned, come from a very diverse background, how we are making sure that they are ready to receive Emiratis within their teams or within their groups. So today, if we speak about the Emirati talents, we acknowledge that the retail sector or the luxury retail sector is premature to a certain extent when it comes to the availability of Emirati talents that are ready to plug in and play within certain job families, because it hasn't been till recently the first choice of employment or sector when it comes to Emiratis who are ready to join the workforce. So what we've done is that today we've worked on creating a lot of awareness when it comes to our sector, the career paths that are offered within the retail sector or luxury retail sector. And from there, we have received more interest when it comes from Emirati talents to say, oh, you have e-com, you have digital marketing, you have strategy, you have logistics. So that interest helped build up the readiness of talents to come into Chalhoub. That's A. B, as a group, we want to make sure that talents that come in specifically within retail, so our fashion consultants, our beauty consultants, are very well prepared when they hit the shop floors to engage with our customers and to offer the guest experience that we aspire for as Chalhoub Group. So in extension to the already existing onboarding program that we offer to retail consultants, fashion or beauty consultants, we went the extra mile to create an additional extended onboarding program for Emiratis who are joining these roles, to make sure that their foundation is very well established. They understand exactly what the retail terminology is. They understand very well how we deliver the guest experience. They understand what we mean when we say visual merchandising, what we mean when we say average basket, and so on. So the terminology that is used in our stores, they're familiar with, to give them that confidence to do their job to the best of their ability. That's A. Secondly, we work very much on creating communities within the Emirati community that will support each other today. So today we do have a very well established Emirati community that supports each other very well, and we do that through different engagements that we have in our group. So from Emirati Women's Day, UAE National Day, Flag Day, and so on. But we do build sub-communities within our Emirati community to make sure that each population feel that they have a buddy or a go-to person or team that they can fall back on. So our retail team, so our fashion consultants, beauty consultants, do have a community on their own that they they support each other within. Our graduates have a community, our experienced professionals have a community, and our trainees have a community. So by creating those communities, again, you're building an ecosystem where they are supporting each other across. If I fall on the other end or the other angle of our internal team members, our management, we worked with our learning and development team to establish courses or workshops that enable them to understand the UAE culture, the Emirati values, our ways of working, our beliefs, and so on. So these courses are offered at the onboarding stage of our leadership. These courses are mandated for all leaders who lead Emiratis or manage Emiratis in the group, to make sure that they are equipped and enabled to and feel comfortable to lead Emiratis within their teams. Not to say that they have a different way, or to say that they need to be treated differently, but to make our leaders more confident when it comes to the cultural aspect of, or to understand the cultural aspect of Emiratis. And then thirdly, we've introduced an online course called the Emirati Way, and this is open to all team members to again familiarize them. We hire a lot internationally, right? And it's continuous. So a lot of team members come in and they are very curious about the Emirati culture, our values, our how we say certain things, how we have the coffee, the karak. So they're very curious about all of this. Friday prayer, family gatherings. So it's a nice way to introduce them to the simple or the basics of our Emirati culture through the Emirati Way course that we offer to everyone.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting what you started with there, where you were saying that maybe retail isn't one of the industry sectors that Emiratis have naturally been drawn to. But I know that Chalhoub, plays or has a huge emphasis on like talent development. You've got your own in-house academy.
Yes.
I believe you've got a Chalhoub University.
Yes.
And you also have like culture programs and stuff. So maybe you could just talk us through more of what's on offer if a local Emirati was interested in becoming part of the Chalhoub team.
Definitely. So I think I will start by the fact that we have a dedicated Emiratization team, which look at Emiratization not in terms of only offering jobs or attracting Emiratis to join Chalhoub Group, but as well, how do we partner with you to enable you throughout your career journey within Chalhoub Group, and if you choose actually to take it beyond Chalhoub Group. So today that Emiratization team, and I'm very proud of them, we're a team of 5 ladies, and I'm very proud of each one of them, of how they tackle or they partner with every single Emirati talent, from a high schooler who's looking for an internship to a fresh graduate who is not very sure on what career path to take or what's right for them. And as well, how we onboard our talents, how we guide them throughout their career within Chalhoub Group, how we are partnering with them on simple maybe challenges that they are facing, how do we help them overcome these challenges. So this Emiratization team is very dedicated to supporting Emirati talents throughout their journey. We become more of their, let's say, partners or career counselors, rather than them perceiving us as HR or the typical HR, which might be present in other organizations. Secondly, today we have our leadership or our management. Again, how do they perceive Emiratization as an added value, as a commitment that is driven by our group to make sure that we are offering opportunities to the people of the country. Our learning and development team, I think I might be biased to say this, but we have one of the strongest learning and development teams, either within our sector or in the UAE, if I can say that. They partner very close to make sure that the programs that they are delivering are adding value to every single one of their partners, stakeholders, or job families that they are targeting. We have different academies. So we have the Wellbeing Academy, we have the Digital Academy, we have the Leadership Academy. the Retail Academy and the Enabling Arts Academy. So we have 5 different academies that is part of Chalhoub University, or the academy that we have, Chalhoub Academy, and each one of them focuses on pillars that are very that are the core to the group. So if I say Leadership Academy, today Chalhoub follows the servant leadership model, which makes sure that today as leaders, our main focus is how do we cater to the team members and to our teams holistically, and how do we empower them and develop them. Wellbeing, we're very big on well-being in Chalhoub Group. So we have a dedicated academy that drives a lot of our well-being activities, trainings, and to make sure that that balance is there. Retail academies, where we work very closely with our team members on the shop floors to make sure that they are extremely capable to offer the experience the experience to our customers that we aspire as Chalhoub Groups. In addition to our academies, we have different leadership programs that are offered to our leaders. So one of them is Lead Forward. We have Women in Leadership. We have another program called Bold. So these are all leadership programs to make sure that our leaders are challenged, they are developed, and they are enabled to lead the Chalhoub way, if I can put it that way.
That's fabulous. Setting yourself up for success in the future,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
So Sarah and I work with both large companies like yourself, but we also work with small and medium-sized companies. And we were recently at an Emiratisation event where we heard from a number of smaller companies that were really saying that they were struggling with filling their Emiratisation requirements. It would be interesting, I suppose, to hear from you whether you've got any hints and tips or ideas that you could share, so that those people that come from those small to medium-sized businesses that might be listening could think about what additional things should they be doing to try and attract Emirati talent when perhaps they don't have the budget for some of the big initiatives that you perhaps can offer as a big company.
I think that I will go back to a word that you mentioned, or a statement that you mentioned early on, which is some companies perceive Emiratisation as a headache. I would say that's the first thing that we need to eliminate completely, or smaller to medium-sized companies need to perceive it differently. That mindset shift needs to happen. Today, Emiratisation needs to be perceived as a value add to any organization. Yeah. Like I mentioned today,
100% agree with you.
So if I come from a retailer perspective today, who understands our consumers more than people of the country? If we look at the tourism industry, if we look any industry, to be honest, it just needs to be a mind shift of how do Emiratis add value to that organization.
So I want to add something onto that, because I completely agree with you on the mind shift, and it is a big challenge. And I know that there are changes happening and small businesses are embracing it. However, a lot of the small businesses work in what might be considered unfavorable industries and business types. So like you've mentioned with Chalhoub being retail, others are hospitality, food and beverage, where usually you wouldn't necessarily find. I mean, I'm a hospitality background myself, and it was very rare to find an Emirati who was interested to take that as a career path. What can companies offer if they are on, and all businesses are alike, and we're not putting any business down or on a pedestal above anything else, but we do recognize that some are less favorable to certain nationalities to work in. How would a business that's in, say, hospitality or food and beverage, or something that is less favorable to an Emirati individual, how could they possibly make it attractive? What can they add to sell it, if you see what I mean?
First of all, they need to know the Emirati demographic. They need to understand the Emirati talent pool, the workforce that's present, right? And not to say that in hospitality the only jobs that can be offered are in banqueting or front
No, of
desk
course.
or
There's
room
huge
servicing. There's a huge
Yes.
operations when it comes to any sector,
Yeah.
even the front line facing sectors, right? Hospitality, food and beverage, and so on. So get creative in terms of what job opportunities can you open up that would suit or attract this workforce, this demographic, this talent pool, right? And if that workforce or talent pool is not ready available, groom them at a very early stage, attract them at a very early stage, mold them and groom them at an early stage. Today, the government is doing a lot of initiatives when it comes to high school internships, partnering with university, bridging that gap between academia and the workplace, right, and the industry. Take advantage of this. This is all very backed up and very much offered by the government. It's just up to every employer to take that initiative and to not look at it as a burden,
Yeah,
but as an opportunity.
Yeah.
But I don't think there are any limitations. I mean, if I say it's a limitation, I would tell you that it's impossible for me to hire an Emirati to come and work at a shoe store to sell shoes.
Yeah.
Culturally, it might be or someone who doesn't comes from an area where they want to set limitations, they'll say that's impossible. But it's, again, how do you build that confidence, that loyalty, that excitement with your team members to say, this store is my second home, this brand is who I represent. Chalhoub Group, one of our values is entrepreneurial skills, and we always say that today we treat Chalhoub as our own company or as our own group, and we give to it what we would want to give to our own.
For the business that you're working
How do you
in
build
for.
that?
Yeah, fantastic. They are all excellent points. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Umnia. So we're coming to the end of our discussion today. Emma, do you have any other questions or points that you want to put forward?
And I would like to add one last thing, sorry, just
please go
to
ahead.
my last point. Today we have in some of our brands, some of our top sellers annually are our Emirati team members. So this is just to showcase that how do you shift the mindset and how do you enable them to really grow and outperform themselves, right?
Amazing, thank you. Okay, so I want to say a huge thank you to Umnia.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you to learn about Chalhoub. I've learned so much today that I didn't know
Thank you.
about the company and about the activities towards Emiratisation in the business, and many hints and tips that we will, of course, through the podcast be sharing with small and medium-sized businesses and the larger ones alike as well. We'll be hopefully taking notes. So thank you very much for your time today, and we will be releasing the episode in the upcoming months. So here's to the next episode and next recording. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.